You've reached that point in your life. Either your friends have all started getting married and having kids, or your mother is nagging you every weekend on the phone, reminding you that your biological clock is ticking. But starting a family is a major upheaval in your life and will probably be one of the most important things you ever do in your life. So that begs the question, how do you plan for it?
I think family planning is important because you need to plan for your future.
And if you have a boyfriend or have a husband, which contraceptives you have to use to get that planning ahead.
But it's pointless just jumping into it and jumping with any random person, but you've got to plan for the future and plan for the security of the child.
Children are a huge responsibility, and I think it's important that you're ready to have one.
You can plan ahead if you want children at this age, at what age you would want another child at.
You and your spouse getting together, making decisions that's going to affect both of you.
Our population has overextended itself and we can't even feed the population we have. So absolutely, I think families need to curtail themselves at this stage.
With me is Dr. Lerato Masimola, Dr. Darren Green, and health and wellness expert Lisa Raleigh. Welcome to Doctor's Audience.
Thank you.
So, this is not some form of contraception. I don't know. Seeing how many nappies you have to go through. I think all these nappies are like 2 weeks for a newborn.
It's crazy.
It's actually very, very
10 a
crazy.
day.
Yeah.
10 a day, 10 nappies a day for a newborn.
It's
very, got no diarrhea.
Oh, great.
200 nappies a month.
It's an easy way to lose a lot of money. So you have to be prepared to have a family. And there are so many factors. You have to be psychologically prepared, physically prepared. You've got to hope you have a good support structure. You've got to do a lot of reading. You know, what did you do to prepare for having a child?
Medical school taught me everything. I'm just kidding. But I mean, I just love how, you know, it's like, oh, get married, let's have a baby. We don't even think beyond what those children are going to cost us.
Yes.
You know, when you fall pregnant, you're not thinking, how many nappies am I going to buy a month? You discover,
Much more than that.
you discover when the baby comes that they need 300 nappies that month. You know, if you are working, you don't consider, am I going to take time off? Is my job going to pay me for taking time off? You know, so don't get caught up in the honeymoon or the fairy tale of let's just have a child. You know, children, yes, they're blessings, but children are also costly.
But sadly, a lot of people think that having a child's actually going to improve their relationship. And I think a lot of couples think that, you know, even if they're not seeing each other a lot and they're both working really hard, they think the child will bring them closer together. But, you know, when you, like a deer in the headlights, you get a quick wake-up to see that it actually puts more stress on both of you to sacrifice more of self and focus on the new arrival.
Yeah, so how do you psychologically prepare yourself for having a child?
Well, something that really stood out for me was when I did a story on adoption for Doctor's Orders a couple of months ago. And I was fascinated to see how stringent the process was in going about adopting a child. So you had to have interviews, your family had to have interviews, your colleagues had to, they came and inspected your home, you had to fill in all kinds of aptitude tests and pass them all. And that was for an adopted baby who really needs a home. And then normal people just have kids. I think that it's more testing should be done out of that that's ever going to be possible. But there's so much more that goes into having a child than just the fun of it.
You know, you can't deny there's a natural process that's going to come, you know, it's expected. If you are in a relationship, whether it's actually a stable one or a hit and run, you will fall pregnant. You know, you can fall pregnant. But, you know, we live in these times where we have to be conscious of what it entails and what it costs or what having a child comes with. We can't just, you know, we no longer live in those days where it was easier, there was support, that it wasn't so costly.
Yes, more communitarian, we're more individualistic now.
And you can have marriages without having kids, you know, but society, automatic, they wait. It's been 9 months.
And you've got to have that very difficult conversation, you know, get out the calculator and get out the bills and really have a heart-to-heart, you know, are we ready? And if you're not, then put it on pause.
If all your friends are having kids, I think a lot of moms feel pressured, or a lot of females feel pressured because, you know, their friends have now started the journey and, you know, immaterial of their own individual circumstances, they're feeling that pressure. You know,
it's nice to ignore what's going on in my home. Let's look at what my friend is doing and I want to be a part of that clique. And therefore, I'll just, you know, follow suit. You just have to go to one baby shower and the next day you're pregnant because you have too much pressure.
True.
I look after my niece and nephew, and that's contraception for the next month.
That's a lot of contraception.
Very
right.
good.
Here you go.
So if you're deciding to hold off a little bit, what are the various contraceptive methods that are out there?
Well, you get the two main classes, the ones where you can reverse.
Yeah.
You are going to have a child later, or you're not sure whether you want a child or not, so you can consider those ones. If you've had children already, or for whatever medical reasons that you need to have a permanent, irreversible contraceptive method, that they are types that you can go for.
Yes.
On the reversible ones, you get the tablets,
Spermicides,
injections,
the oral contraceptive.
but they've come a long way because you originally got the injection in the oral. Now you have the skin patch. You also have the cervical ring, which is a ring that goes around the cervix. It releases hormones, slowly into the system, it's absorbed there.
Yes.
So there are options. If you don't think you'll remember taking a tablet every single day, there are options. You must discuss with your doctor.
But be careful on the oral contraceptive, because if you drink too much, if you have a late night out and you drink way too much, or if you're on antibiotics or certain medications, it can be ineffective.
Yes.
And a lot of people have fallen pregnant by taking the pill every single day, but they forget when they're on antibiotics that it's ineffective and they fall pregnant.
Yeah.
And then you get the barrier methods, the male and female condom.
Yes, and chastity belts, etc. And the
Chastity belts.
Yes.
and then, obviously, what about the intrauterine devices?
Yes.
That,
IUDs.
Yes, IUDs.
But I find that this is a perfect method for people who want less admin. The hormonal intrauterine device lasts 5 years in the body. And then, so if you're
Very
thinking
popular.
about, do I want to sterilize or not? And I want to keep my options open, but you don't have the time to do injections and tablets and other things, this could be an option for you.
Yep.
Any final
Certainly.
thoughts?
From a physical point of view, I think you need to make sure that you are ready. So if you are planning to have a child and planning to fall pregnant, then you need to stop smoking, you need to stop drinking, reduce the amount of caffeine that you're dependent on, because when you're pregnant you can't have the same amount of caffeine. And then if you're overweight, you're going to reduce your chances of falling pregnant, because there's a good chance that you have insulin resistance or polycystic ovary syndrome. So, being at a healthy weight is going to increase your chance of actually falling pregnant. So health is very important if you're wanting to have a baby.
You're not going to be fully prepared ever, so be prepared to also wing it and take it as it comes and lean on the people around you. It takes a community to raise a child.
For me, I think we need to move away from the woman who's responsible for contraception. Family planning starts with planning. When you are in a relationship, whether married or not, long term, you have to discuss this, as partners. Do we want children? And therefore prepare for it if the child is coming.
Actually, all of this is actually making me a little broody.
Oh, really?
All the nappies.
Doing the opposite for me.
Thank you so
9 months.
Thank you so much, guys, for a wonderful discussion.
Okay.
All this talk of family planning just reminds me how blessed I am to be a father. It does get tough, though, but it's worth it if you are ready for it.